Hey there, Derek Rydall here, and I'm really pumped up to talk about how to get more done, or how can I get more done? How can I be much more productive? It's one of the most often asked questions. It's one of the things people, especially in the entrepreneurial or creative space, struggle with. And I love this question because I love creating. People wonder, how do you get so much done, Derek? How are you such a content machine? And I have a family that's thriving, and I have amazing kids, and I have a business, and I work out, and I read, and I write, and I create. And how do you do it, man? And there's a first thing I'm going to tell you how not to do it, because I did all that too. And that is, if you're really just starting to master productivity, do not try to do a lot of things at the same time. Do not try to start multiple businesses at the same time. Do not try to start a business with multiple product lines or offerings at the same time. You don't have the structures to support it. Not just the physical structures or the business structures or the financial structures per se, but you don't have the emotional, mental structures. You don't yet have the character. I've even seen people that had fully funded startups trying to do way too much at once completely implode on itself because they did not have the internal structures in the individuals in order for it to thrive. So you want to first start with what matters most. The most powerful and most important aspect to getting more done initially is making sure you're getting the right things done. That you're doing the right things, or you're doing first things first, right? As Stephen Covey used to talk about. And so I love this one analogy to begin to understand it. And he would talk about the big rocks. And if you haven't heard this, a great analogy. If you have, listen again, because you're, like most of us, you're probably not really fully living it yet. And that is, he does an example where there's a big pile of rocks, big rocks, then there's smaller rocks, then there's even smaller rocks or pebbles, then there's a pile of sand, and then there's a pitcher of water. And the example for that are the big rocks are the really important, highest leverage goals or values in your life, like a healthy body, like financial security, beautiful, healthy, loving relationships, a deep connection to your source, to your God, to spirituality, or just to yourself, right? So self-connection or spirituality, health, wealth, your family, your life's work. These are the core life structures: health, wealth, work, relationships, spiritual development, personal development, and service. Those are what I call the 7 core life structures, or the 7 core planks that build your fundamental life platform from which you can now launch into your real reason for being and put all of your attention on becoming more yourself. When any one of those 7 planks are unstable or broken, they tend to pull everything else down with them, right? So those are like the big rocks, let's say. And then there's the smaller rocks, which are important things, not necessarily urgent or urgent and important. And then the pebbles are things that are potentially important but not urgent, or urgent but not important. They're tasks, they're things you got to get done, maybe the laundry, get to the dry cleaners, get groceries. Not unimportant, but they're not the big, major, high leverage things. And then there's the sand, and then there's the water, which are again, ingredients, lesser and lesser importance. So what happens is when we don't have a clear vision about our life, as I've talked in other trainings, we don't really know what is that seed pattern of our deepest purpose and our greatest potential. When we don't know what that is, we tend to then be reacting to our conditions, reacting to everybody else's agendas. And everybody else's agendas keeps us busy, or just surviving or getting by, one thing after the other. Keeping busy creates the illusion that we're actually getting anything done. Busyness is not business. Busyness is not productive. Multitasking through a bunch of different stuff so you can feel exhausted at the end of the day and not get enough sleep and wear it like a badge of honor, that's not how to get more things done. You'll do a lot of things, but you won't get much that matters done. So he does this thing where he shows how to put it all in, and people will start, they'll put the sand in, they'll pour the water in, they'll put the little pebbles in, then they'll put the the medium rocks in, and then water splashing all over. It's making a mess of everything, and they never even get any of the big rocks in, right? Because it seems like that's what you would do, right? Put all the easy stuff in first. I can easily pour that sand in there, done. I can easily pour that water in there, done. That's like I'm going on my to-do list and checking my mail and going through my emails and getting to inbox 0 and cleaning my house and doing my laundry and going, and I feel like I'm getting so much done, right? That's sand and water and pebbles. And then what happens? There's no room for the big rocks. You don't have time to go to the gym and take care of your body. You're so busy you don't have time to eat well or meditate or connect with yourself. You're so busy that you're too exhausted now, emotionally and otherwise, to be with your children in a quality way or to be with your partner. And there's no room for the big rocks. And it starts to wear you down and burn you out. You start to stagnate, you start to struggle, your life force diminishes, and it's a downward pattern. It's a failure pattern, right? So we think how to get more done is just by doing more and being busy and filling our calendar with stuff. No. How to get more done, to get what matters done more often, and to really have a life that is highly productive, highly efficient, highly effective, and ultimately highly fulfilling and successful, is you have to start with the big rocks. And so you put the big rocks in first, and you get you might get a few big rocks in there, right? And they can evolve over time and over the years. You may not get all of them in at once. Rarely do you have to work on all the big rocks, but it might be like body health and fitness, relationship health and well-being, business and life work growth. I got 3 big rocks in there. Now I'm prioritizing, organizing my day and my week and my life where those big rocks are on my calendar, are in my plan every day. That goes first on my plan. That goes first on my calendar. I have time allocated to take care of my body, to build my business, to be with my loved ones. That's first. Then he goes, takes the medium rocks. A bunch of those fit in too, strangely. They kind of go around the big rocks. Now, because the big rocks are there, which really fuel you, which really energize you, which give you power and strength rather than taking it away, now you have more of you available to work on the medium rocks. And these might be some time you need to do for your regular job or taking kids back and forth to their appointments, whatever. Important things, but not life-changing things. They fit too. And then now you go to the pebbles. And these are like some of the daily tasks, answering mail, email, cleaning up, and you pour the pebbles in there and they go, and lo and behold, they fit too, or at least a good amount of them. And then you take the sand, you pour that in. You can already see where it's going. The sand goes shh, and that gets filled in too. All the little spaces, cracks. You actually had more space than you knew. And then finally the water, and it pours in. And you realize that when you prioritize, when you organize around the things that matter most, the things you truly deeply want most, everything else starts to fit. Not just because of organization, but because of activation. Because when you are doing what really matters most, what you care about most, what you want most, you activate that seed pattern. You activate your true power source. You turn on your divine power plant, and you don't have less of you, you bring out more of you. You become more spacious. Your time expands, your energy increases, your capacity grows, your intelligence and wisdom and clarity gets clearer and stronger and more refined, because you're now in alignment with who you really are and with the power of life itself, which wants to fulfill itself as you. So how do you get the most done and the most done that matters most? You have to organize your life around those things that you deeply care about and want most. And this isn't easy, and this requires courage, and this requires commitment, which I talk about in other programs and tools. But my invitation to you is start today to give yourself permission to discover what matters most? What are the few big rocks that if I truly gave my life to, if I truly organized them as the number one priority, that would move the needle, that would give me massive leverage, and that would allow my life to take a quantum leap to the next level. Organize around that, make a plan for that, put it on your calendar, and post in the Facebook groups about what begins to happen. I can't wait to see. And until next time, live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny.